This episode is brought to you by Modern Goaltending. Modern Goaltending is hosting 2 camps this summer. Our first camp will be hosted in Alabama at the Pelham Civic Complex in Pelham from July 16th to 19th. And our second camp will be hosted in Florida at the Community First Igloo in Jacksonville from August 2nd to the 4th. Both camps include professional goalie and shooter coaches, as well as off-ice performance testing and training. Our camps serve dietitian-approved meals, while also hosting multiple classroom sessions hosted by our dietitian, life coach, and video coach. The goal of our camps is to better each individual athlete by giving them new on-ice tools to work on and improve their game. Off-ice, our classroom, workouts, and testing sessions are designed to provide athletes with insight and information on what they need to work on moving forward in their hockey careers, while also giving them a glimpse into what it's like to be a professional athlete. To sign up for one or both of our Modern Goaltending camps, please visit moderngoaltending.com/camps. Link in description. Welcome to episode number 7. Right?
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, that's it. Number 7. We're feeling a little more energized this week.
A lot more energized. I'm ready to
It's hard to
rock.
it's hard to get any less energized than we were last week.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
The Advanced Auto Parts 12 car got it done this weekend.
Yeah, he did. Finally, after how many weeks of not winning?
We're like in the teens, I think, now. The race is into the season.
I want to say 16 or 17 weeks into the season.
So that means there's only like 5 races till playoffs. Because it's something like the first 22 or 23 races are the regular season. So we're getting there.
Yeah, the boys moving up. And I got to admit, I mean, obviously I'm new to the fandom of NASCAR, but it was a little bit stressful, especially since the first race we went to this year, the 12 lost by, what was it? Like
Maybe
0.0.
It's like the lowest margin in NASCAR history for one of them.
For a
Cup Series.
For a 3-way, I think.
Yeah, for a 3-way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then 2 or 3 weeks ago,
He had a guaranteed win.
yeah, and on the white flag, he just ran out of gas.
They don't do math so good.
No. So it was nice. I actually my Caitlin and Garner were already in bed, in Garner's bed, and I was watching the last like 40 laps in our bedroom.
Yeah.
And with like 10 laps to go, I made the effort to get up and grab them and say, "You guys got to come watch this."
Good.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Good. He finally won. He's in playoffs.
Yeah.
Also, not that we're NASCAR experts, or not that this is about NASCAR, but for those of you who don't know, the way you run out of gas is there's no fuel gauge in a NASCAR.
Right.
It's not like your car where they got the range like 35 miles.
Mm-hmm. There's no speedometer.
There's no speedometer either. Yeah, so that's how you run out of gas. You don't know you're about to run out of gas.
Yeah. But that race, I mean, even Blaney and I believe his what do you call it? Crew chief? No.
Yeah, crew chief.
Crew chief. Both said that they were not expecting to be out of gas. It was just a miscalculation or an error by the gas guy or something.
Yeah. I mean, they weigh the can before the car comes in, and they weigh it after to figure out how much gas they put in.
Right. So how would it be a miscalculation, or did they like? I don't get that. If they know, yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
Maybe
But it happened 2 weeks in a row where cars ran out of gas.
Yeah, it's true. Martin Truex did.
Yeah. And it happens.
At that god-awful road course.
Sonoma, it's fun.
No, it's not. It's not fun. I did not enjoy it.
I just yard sailed my coffee, so I'm gonna get a paper towel. Right as we're bragging about how this is gonna go well, that's the first thing I do.
No, I think, oh my God, you did yard sell your coffee.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
You need a mop. That's gonna be sticky. Where'd you get the creamer from? We have creamer here?
No, at home.
Oh.
I made it and then I brought it over in my egg.
I stopped putting creamer in my coffee as of yesterday. I'm trying to cut back.
I thought, hang on. But time out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought your dietitian said she wants you to put creamer in your coffee.
No. You need another napkin. I'm getting you another napkin.
I thought because it's cream and sugar because you need it because you don't like to eat breakfast. Remember that?
Like you're talking words that those words came out of my mouth, or are you just saying that because you've seen my macro goals?
No. I'm saying that because I was here when you met with Kelly about your nutrition.
Yeah. You still need to wipe your cup.
Okay. I was here when you met with Kelly about your I know. I got my own problems to worry about, and I'm over here worrying about yours. Okay. I was here when you met with Kelly about your nutrition.
Yeah.
Remember she said because you don't eat breakfast, you should put cream and sugar in your coffee so you have something.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Dang. So I can go back to my creamer.
Yeah, well, according to your nutritionist, yeah.
Okay, well, for the record, the only reason why I decided to cut out my creamer is because for the last 9 days, all I've done is, because my family was in town, is drink beer and eat meat and cake and treats. So I just felt like I should just keep things clean for a week.
So the creamer is what was going to go by the wayside?
Yeah, creamer amongst other things.
Okay.
Yeah, sauce. Caitlin and I like to put a lot of sauce on like our rice and our meat and stuff like that. Like yum yum sauce and teriyaki and all that stuff. So I've decided I'm just going to kind of cut that out as much as I can. I'm not going to be crazy.
It's not bad.
I mean, you saw, I'm still like 1,500 calories.
Low of what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like 350 grams of carbs.
Low. Yeah.
Although I did get over my protein by like 25 or something.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you got to hit. Ask Rosie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we gotta get into this Stanley Cup final. We have an 8-1 loss for Florida in Game 4.
Woof.
In Edmonton.
Woof.
Which you said Game 3 might happen. But it happened Game 4.
Yes, I believe I said Game 2 and 3 it could happen.
You did. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You said Game 2 might. You thought after Game 2 it'd be a 1-1 series.
Yes. Okay, but this is something that I do, whether it's hockey, football, whatever. And I'm not talking about gambling. I'm just talking about predictions. But gambling falls underneath that umbrella.
Right, that's a prediction.
I feel like I'm pretty good at predicting how a series is going to go before the series starts.
Okay.
And this is why I don't gamble that much anymore, if at all.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
my brain, like all of a sudden after Game 1, I'm like, I'm going against my prediction.
You're really good, but you're really good with your analytical brain.
I've never had anybody say that to me before.
You and I talked about all for 6 months of the NFL season that the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We said that. Said that. They're struggling a little bit. It's going to be okay. They know how to win.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. That's your analytical brain.
Yeah, I guess I never
but
thought
then
of that.
Come Super Bowl Sunday, you're like, I'm going on the 49ers.
Right. Okay, yeah, exactly.
I'm like, we just talked about for 6 months how the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
And you're willing to throw that away
mm-hmm.
because your emotional brain just wants the 49ers to win.
Yes, exactly. You just made my point for me.
And did you win money that day?
No. Lost.
So
quite a bit.
My point is that you're really good with your analytical brain.
Yeah. I got to trust
We're talking about who's going to win. Yeah, you don't trust it.
I don't trust it. And that's what I'm saying. So my prediction, my prediction for this series before it began was what?
The Oilers were going to lose in 5.
And they were going to win 1 at home.
Yep.
So right now, as of right now, my brain prior to the series is looking pretty good. I'm fairly confident.
That's what I just said.
Right. I know.
That's
agreeing
what
with
we're
you.
saying.
Yes. I don't know what it is about. I just let my emotions take over, and I'm like, I think the Oilers are going to pump 3 in the first period of Game 2.
So what you're telling me is your emotional brain is about ready to take over tonight?
No, it's not.
And you're going to hammer the Oilers. Because you told me you want the Oilers to win as a Canadian.
Yes, but what I'm also telling you is we're turning a leaf. I don't know.
Turning over a new leaf.
Turning over a new leaf.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick with my analytical brain.
Yep.
And I might even put money down on the Panthers tonight. Or I'm just going to flat out – I don't know. I don't like betting on hockey at all.
I think based on your take, the odds would say that you should hammer Florida whatever games are going to be left in this series.
Yeah.
We're filming this on Tuesday. It's Game 5 tonight.
Yes.
That's what's happening tonight.
Yeah. And I think you're right too. You told me earlier that you think Panthers in the under
tonight.
And we don't even know what the line is.
Edmonton scored 1 goal at home through 2 games. Edmonton scored 1 goal in Florida through the first 2 games of the series.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
And you don't even know what the over-under is.
I don't.
It don't matter.
But if anyone's going to hit the over, it's going to be the Panthers. I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like they could win 5-1.
So you're thinking Panthers over or Panthers under tonight? I think you got to pick one.
If anyone's going to ruin the under, it's going to be the Panthers, is what I'm saying. Is my prediction.
They might, yeah. I could see it. If the over under is like 5 or even 5.5,
yeah,
I can see them getting like 4 or 5 goals tonight, and the Oilers getting 1.
Right. You got to think Florida's going to lock it down. I think so. I mean, there's an 8-1 loss in a final series. There's so much to unpack from that. I guess first of all, in any series, but especially even a championship series, it's not uncommon for both teams to get blown out one game or the other and it to be a close series. And it's not uncommon for the winning team to get blown out at least one game in a series. That's just like the nature of series.
Yeah, it just happens. I don't really know why.
But that's why you play a best of 7 series, right?
Yeah.
Because it's hockey. So, some leagues play best of 3 series. And anything could happen in that span of time. The Florida Panthers actually would have been eliminated by the playoffs, or from the playoffs by the Rangers.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like in a best of 3, like especially I'll just flat out say it. In the SPHL, it's a best of 3. That's the league that we're in.
Right.
And there's variables that go into it.
I was trying to avoid the media policy, but you just kind of went for it.
Oh, did I? What's the media policy?
Well, we're in the off season. But usually there's a paper that we sign.
I'm not under contract. I don't even get protected.
Right. You can do what you want.
Okay. I'll tread very carefully. Okay.
Well, I think at this point it's too late. You just got to go for it.
In leagues that you do best of 3 series, there's a lot of variables that come into play, such as travel. I'd say travel's the biggest one.
That's a variable.
And I said a lot of variables, but that's the only one I can think of right now. But it's also the fact that these 8, like you're saying, these kind of games can happen for whatever reason. And
they just do. It's just like the nature of hockey.
Right. Somebody might have an off night, or multiple people in this case, I think, have an off night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's and that's part of it is I think that the Oilers blowing out the Panthers in Game 4 was a bit of a surprise, but it's not one of those things where it happens and you're super surprised that it happened.
Yeah, to be honest, I was not surprised.
Because you got to think about both teams' perspective. So first of all, the Panthers are up 3-0 in a series. Each player's been waiting their whole life for this, unless they've won a cup before. They're up 3-0. They're just thinking, as much as the Panthers, and one of the things I like about them is they talk about just winning the day and taking it day by day. Mm-hmm. As much as you're trying to focus on just that moment and just trying to be your best every moment of the game, part of your mind before the game 100% and during the day is going to go to that you could win the Stanley Cup tonight.
Yeah. That's why they say the 4th game is the hardest one to win, especially in the finals.
Right. So you got to think you're up 3-0 in a series. You feel like you're going to win the cup. You feel like you're going to win it tonight. I don't know how to explain it, but you're just a little bit giddy. Like you might be a little antsy.
How could you not be?
Right. I think that's human nature. How could you not be? If you're Edmonton, you have there's no pressure on you.
Right.
You get to go out and play.
Yep.
Like at this point, you're expected to lose the series.
Mm-hmm.
You're expected to lose the cup. So you have nothing to lose. I mean, there's pressure because, hey, you could still come back.
Yep. And
if you're in that room, if you don't believe you're going to come back, then you shouldn't be suiting up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think our brains have seen this before. We've seen. Sorry, our eyes have seen this before. Our brains don't see.
I guess you see with your brain because the way the way your eyes work.
Let's not get into those weeds. This happens all the time, and now that I think about it, I am definitely betting on the Panthers tonight because this does happen. Teams often get pumped relatively, maybe not always 8-1. Okay, when I say pumped, I mean a team like Florida who's been manhandling the Oilers in the past. They come out for that trying to get that fourth win and they lose maybe by 3 or 4 or more goals than what they've been letting in the rest of the series.
They're just so excited. I mean, and I think it's really easy for your mind to leave the current moment and go to what could happen at the end of that game.
Right. Now, what I'm saying is also history tells me that the Panthers got that out of the way, and I could very well see Game 5 going like Game 4, but in the opposite direction.
Well, that's the thing. So now the Panthers have that game of – they have that one day of preparation of knowing they can clinch out of the way. Mm-hmm. So, like, now their minds are going to be a bit more focused on just playing the game.
Yeah.
They have a loss now, so there's a little bit of I don't want to say feeling like they're human again because they've really battled this series and they deserve to be up 3-0, but it just takes the pressure off now.
Yeah.
Like last game, they're a little bit giddy, a little bit excited. You're kind of thinking we could win it tonight, and there's all kinds of ways that your mind could be going. I mean, you saw, at least what I saw in the first period was the Panthers defensemen were stepping when they really didn't need to be. Okay. And I think that could just be part of that excitement. So they'd step and they'd give up a breakaway or 2-on-1 or whatever it may be. So, anyways, mentally, you have that game out of the way if you're the Panthers. Now you have a I don't want to say practice, but you have a repetition of preparing for a game knowing you could clinch the Stanley Cup, which it's really hard to prepare for that.
Yeah,
like winning a series clinching game is different from winning the cup clinching game.
How many guys on the Panthers have been in this spot, do you know?
With a chance to win a cup?
Yeah.
With a chance to clinch it or being in the finals?
Like they're one game away. I mean, a lot of them have been in the finals, but how many have been one game away from hoisting Lord Stanley?
And it's not like they're one game away and they have a 3-2 series lead and it's like we got to get it done tonight, otherwise anything could happen.
Yeah.
We have a 3-0 series lead. We just want to win it so bad.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question, and it's going to annoy you, but this is not. I don't think this way, but it comes up often in situations like this,
mm-hmm.
and by situations like this, I just mean the Stanley Cup Finals for the most part, or any sports finals series. Do you think there's any part of the brain of the Panthers players that is thinking? Even if they like, they'll never admit this, but do you think there's any part of the brain that's thinking I'd rather win this at home? Because you hear that, not from players, but you hear that from media and fans. And stuff like that.
I think in your mind, like, okay, if you could design the finals to be perfect, yeah, you design it so you win it at home. But I think as a player and as a competitor, you just want to win it because every game that you don't win it allows for more to happen. Like,
yeah, your odds go down on winning it.
Right. So you don't want to mess around. Like,
somebody brought it up to me the other day, and I was like, me personally, no, and I guarantee you them no as well. I would have no problem winning the Stanley Cup. If I'm the Florida Panthers, I would have no problem winning the Stanley Cup in Edmonton, and
you're going to
celebrating with the boys on the plane ride home.
Yeah, you're in the locker room. You're going to take a flight home.
Yeah,
with the cup on board.
Yeah,
you're going to get back to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could have a thing where you go by the rink and celebrate with all the fans just like you won it, and you probably will in the parade. But I mean, you're going to be celebrating it in Florida regardless.
I'm pulling up a picture to show you, and I know you've seen this. I just can't remember who else is in it. Do you know what picture I'm pulling up right now?
No, but it's very cool to win it at home. But there's something to be said. It's a pretty cool feeling to go into an opposing building and be celebrating, you know, the cup
Tell me that doesn't look like fun.
Right. Let me get to that in a second. There's something about going into an opposing building and you win the cup in that place. Like you worked
Like
hard. You fought hard. Yeah. You fought hard to get it done in that building.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's a cool feeling. You have a bunch of opposing fans, but it's the feeling of it's just you and the guys in that room.
Yeah, I think that's just like the competitor.
Yeah.
I don't know. Feeling like you walked into a building that's going to be. It's not your building. Like in a Stanley Cup final, you should not. Well, I don't want to paint this with too broad of a brush, but you're not supposed to win on the road unless you're like a super favorite.
Right. So when you're going into a series, you're like, okay, let's try to take care of our 2 at home to start the series off, and then we want to go into Edmonton and steal 1 on the road.
Yeah, exactly.
And they did.
Yeah. And that's what Paul Maurice said too. After his 8-1 loss, he's like, at the end of the day, we want to come in here and steal 1.
And they did.
And they
did steal 1.
Doesn't matter. They lost 8-1.
And I don't even know if that game 3, I don't know if they stole it as much as the Oilers basted it and handed it to him on a platter.
Yeah, I can't even remember game 3. What day of the week was that?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's the one where Bouchard had like 2 awful turnovers.
Yeah, that was on Thursday. Yeah, that was Thursday.
Was that the one where he put it right on Rodriguez's tape?
I believe so, yeah. And then he also had a bad neutral zone pinch for some reason, just got burned.
Well, the way that they scored their first goal was Barkov poked it off his tape, then cut up and burned him, and hit Forsling cross ice, who then hit Reinhart backdoor.
Right.
So that's 2 on Bouchard.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a very good defensive player, man.
But of course, Twitter's like, "Oh, Darnell Nurse sucks."
Right.
It's like, well, if we're gonna talk about bad defensive defensemen, then let's make sure we're fair. Mm-hmm. Okay, but that's a separate point. I'm gonna get myself fired up.
Yeah. Just because I showed you this picture and didn't tell everyone, we didn't tell them what we're looking at here. We're looking at a picture, and a lot of people have seen this. It's fairly iconic.
Should be.
Will be.
Yeah, it's like
it's Ryan O'Reilly holding a beer and the Conn Smythe Trophy in front of looks like 2 bottles of champagne, and Patty Maroon holding the Stanley Cup in the middle row of the airplane.
Yeah, they're on a plane. They're on the plane back. They're on the plane back to St. Louis from Boston.
I don't think those guys were pissed. Although that might have been, was that game 7? Or was that?
I think that was a 7.
Yeah, so they didn't have a choice anyways. But what I'm saying is it looks like they're having a great time on the plane ride home.
Right.
You don't need to win at home.
They don't look upset that they just won the cup on the road in Boston, is what I'm going to say.
O'Reilly doesn't even have his shirt done up. Like, that guy is in one right
They
now.
got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
They got bigger things to worry about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're not going to be upset. So I think that now the Panthers' mentality is going to be different. I don't want to say it's going to cause them to bear down a little bit, but there is going to be a little bit more of an edge to them, I think.
I think they're just going to go back to the nuts and bolts of their game.
Yeah.
They're known for getting pucks deep, hammering D-men as they're retrieving pucks, cycling the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Getting pucks on net.
100%. And now you have that little bit of, like I said, I don't know what to call it. It's not humility. You know that you understand that obviously I don't know how to phrase this, but you understand that you could lose this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's also something to it. Like, they'll just be more mentally, and it's not their fault that they weren't, because they probably tried too hard to be prepared.
Yeah.
But they'll just be more prepared because now they're like, okay, we've played a game where we do have a chance of winning the Stanley Cup. It's familiar territory now. They're going to be a little bit more comfortable with the situation, and they're just going to play their game, in my opinion, and run through the Oilers.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, they could have easily over-prepared last game because this is what you work for. If you're a 28-year-old, this is what you worked for the last 25 years of your life.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And now you get a chance. So, yeah, it's not like the Florida Panthers took the last game lightly. They probably over-prepared.
Yeah.
Mentally, everything.
Oh, 100%.
Which is so easy to do. It's just human nature.
Yeah. I think the last thing that happened, I do not think what the problem was that they wanted to win at home. I think the problem was they wanted to win so bad that they just didn't quite play their game. And like I said, now they've been through it, and I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable, and they're just going to get back to what they're good at.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to dominate tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to get back to what they're good at. And you know what? Like we were saying earlier, there's things in a series that just aren't going to go your way. Like games just aren't going to go your way. Like let's look at the Oilers' first goal that got them going last game. The Panthers have a power play. They do well. I don't remember who it was in front. Maybe Bennett hits the post. Hits the right post. It bounces right post out the other side of the net.
Oh, that's right.
And then I don't remember if it happened right after, but then the puck goes up. The Florida Panthers D dove down because I think it was on this power play. I believe it was a shorthanded goal, the Oilers' first goal.
Yeah.
So the Panthers D dove down, which they normally wouldn't have, and it ended up being a 2-on-1.
Trying too hard.
So it goes down maybe trying too hard. It goes down, and they're thinking, oh, we almost just scored. We can score right now.
Yeah.
So they dive down. It's obviously a mistake. It's a split-second mistake. Bad play. They did surf inside out, which is good, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're in the NHL, so they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. They should be pretty good at surfing the right direction.
They surfed. At this point, 7 or 8 months, 9 months into the season, you better be surfing the right way. So, anyways, ends up in a 2-on-1. Montour makes a good play to slide, which I love. I love that play.
Mm-hmm.
I think on a 2-on-1, defenseman should always slide.
I agree.
Now, Bob got a little antsy. Montour got a little antsy. They slid into each other.
It was a bad slide, in my opinion.
But here's where I think it just wasn't meant to go Florida's way. The puck goes from behind the net, hits off the side of the net, bounces to the front of the net.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was Matthias Janmark who scored.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So his name's Matthias, right? Matthias Janmark?
Sounds right.
So Janmark, we're not going to, because I don't want to be quoted on anything. Janmark goes to put it in. He's got a 6x4 wide open net. He backhands it. He would have missed the net from like 3 feet away. Literally would have missed the net. Barkov, who works hard to get back because that's what he does, unlike the Oilers forwards, no matter how much money they're making, in an attempt to keep Janmark from scoring, it hits off his chest, the side of the net, and bounces in the net.
Yeah. And that was after they hit.
That was after they hit a post.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things had to go wrong for them on that play.
And that's just one example of where it's not their night. Now that's when they could have been like, we're down 1, let's go, we got to try harder.
Yeah.
And then they compounded it kind of by making bad steps in other plays. But that's just like an example of, again, an NHL forward. We talked about hitting the middle of the net. Mm-hmm. He would have missed the net completely.
Yep. Can I bring something up before it leaves my brain?
Yeah.
I know this is probably annoying for you, but you're used to it, so whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about?
What?
So
I feel like whenever you start with that, it's like off topic.
Well, it's slightly on topic, but it's not.
Okay.
So they pulled Bobrovsky. You're gonna like this. They pulled Bobrovsky with 15:01 left in the second, or 10:01. I can't remember. I think
15 sounds right. I mean, McDaddy scored like 3 minutes into the second period.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, they pulled him fairly on the first half of the second period, so fairly early.
I want to say, okay. I think you're right. I think it was like 17 or 15.
Okay, and the score was 5-1 when he got pulled.
4-1, I believe.
Okay, I think it was 5-1.
So he gave up 2 in that span.
I don't know. Either way, 4-1. This won't matter for what I'm about to say. All I could think about was what happens if the Florida Panthers come back in this game. Obviously, this is when it's 4-5-1, not 8-1.
Yeah.
With lots of time left, what happens if they come back and win the Stanley Cup and Sergei is not in the net?
I don't think he'd be pissed.
I think he would. No, I don't think he'd be pissed.
He still gets Conn Smythe probably.
I would be pissed.
Well, I don't think you can be. You played every minute of the series until right now.
No, this is not okay. So, but no, they wouldn't even be there without him.
Right.
He should be in the pipes when the cup gets lifted. I, as a fan of him and just hockey in general, would have been unbelievably choked if they won the Stanley Cup and he was not in the net. If the Florida Panthers were rushing to who's their goalie? I don't want to disrespect him. He's
Anthony
good.
Stolarz.
Anthony Stolarz.
He's an all guy.
I like him.
You better not disrespect a null guy.
I'm sorry. I like him a lot.
Second round pick out of the null. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and he's got sick gear too. I love his gear.
He's always had good gear.
If they rushed to him and not Bobrovsky, I would have been upset.
I think that it would have been a rush to Bob. I think the guys on the ice, if they are around him, they would have started selling with him, but it's a split rush.
So you're telling me it probably would have been an overtime game winner if they won.
Maybe.
They would have would have rushed to the
I don't-
bench from the ozone to go hug Bob wearing his ball cap instead of going down to their goalie. Or would it just be
I
the
think it would have
goalies
been
go
both.
to the ozone?
I think it would have been both. I think goalies go in. No. They rush down to the goalie.
Patty Kane rushed down to the goalie.
Patty Kane rushes down to the goalie as Chris Pronger takes the game-winning Stanley Cup puck out of the net and hides it. We still don't know where that puck is.
It's a bad time to tell you that I love Chris Pronger.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. Are you kidding me? Patty Kane ices it on the road, 2010. Goes, celebrates with Niemi because he didn't know what to do. He's just iced it after the Hawks were last place when they drafted him first overall.
Yeah.
In Game 6 in Philly.
Yeah. He hides the puck. That's a scumbag
And he's going to
move.
grab the puck?
Scumbag move. Sounds familiar. There's a goalie I know that scored a goal, and camera guy didn't even really highlight it. It was kind of weird.
I don't know anything about that. But the scary thing, you know what? Kind of what scares me a little bit is the fact that it's 5-1, and you and I are both sitting on our couches like, the Panthers could still win this game.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I don't want to give the Oilers too much credit.
No, you can't. I don't trust them.
Their defense. I don't trust their defense.
I don't trust their defense. But anyways, so you're saying you'd be fine if Bob wasn't in the net. It wouldn't matter if they won the Stanley Cup and he was in a ball cap. I'm saying it would have pissed me off.
Everyone's going to have their helmets and gloves off anyways in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They won. I'm of the mentality that if you have a chance to win it, win it.
Well, I'm not saying they would have been like, oh, we can't win. Bob's not in the net. I'm just saying as a fan and seeing everything that Bob has done for this team, including flat out stealing Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, I would have been a little upset. I would prefer to see Bob in the net when they win the Cup. It just is what it is. I would think differently if Stolers or Stallers?
Stoley
Stoley.
Stoley the goalie, baby.
Stoley the goalie. I would think differently if he was in the net for any other game aside from that game. I don't think he's touched the ice. He wasn't involved on the ice for the games at all.
Well, right.
I'm just being honest. It would have bugged me.
Well, but I think it could be part of the great thing for him too, because as a goalie now, he's played minutes in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just kind of cool for the concept of, if he gets to lift the cup, I think it'll feel good. Yeah. From a goalie standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, it would feel great for him. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he can say that he's been in the pipes. He contributed.
Right.
And he seems like a good dude. I don't know him, but he seems like a good guy.
I think he's yeah. Yeah,
but this isn't about him. This is just about me as a fan wanting to see the Panthers rush down to Bobrovsky after he's been a stud all year. He's been in the NHL for 12, 13 years. He's finally getting a cup. I want to see that. I want to see them go to him. He throws his gear in the air. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him rushing to a pile with his ball cap in the air.
Well, I think there's going to be multiple piles is what I'm saying. And I think some guys are going to go to Bob.
Yeah.
When he gets on the ice, some guys are going to go to Stoley if he's in net. If they're in that end, like let's say they're eating pucks.
Yeah.
And then the clock, they chip it down and the clock dwindles. Like they're obviously just going to turn and go to Stoley too.
Yeah. There's a couple different scenarios I didn't really think of, but I still stand by what I said.
Right. It'd be cool. Yeah. But I still think Bob gets the Conn Smythe either way, or Sasha.
Yeah.
Or Ekblad maybe.
You think Ekblad is in the running? Well, he's definitely in the running, but I don't think he's going to.
I don't think he's going to get it. You think it's going to be Bob or Sasha?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd have to see the stats because I feel like they look at stats probably a little bit more than they should when it comes to Conn Smythe.
Then watch McDavid get the Conn Smythe. Sweet. Sick Conn Smythe, man. Where's the Stanley Cup? If they don't win, I'm saying.
If that happens, I don't know if I can.
Now, hang on. Now, J.S. Jaguar got the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, but he was
in a losing effort.
He played phenomenal. McDavid did just break an assist record for the playoffs, by the way.
Sweet.
I'm just saying.
Who cares?
Nobody if he doesn't win the cup.
Nobody cares. Exactly.
Yeah, literally nobody.
And I've seen social media. Is McDavid one of the best playoff performers of all time with this assist? Like, well, if he wins.
What's his plus minus?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I think before Game 4, his even strength goals were 0, or even strength points for that for this series.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, wow, that would be insane.
But of course, and this is now okay.
I think he has 32 assists in the playoffs.
That's great.
That's insane.
Of course, the Oilers win Game 4. McDaddy gets a couple assists, and Canadian media's all over it. Oh my gosh, he's so good. He's down 3-1 in a series.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're all over him. Oh, he's the best. He's down 3-1 in a series.
Yeah.
He got one game back.
Mm-hmm. I think what people would argue is that he's doing his part.
Is he?
I think so.
Have you seen his back checks?
I've watched a few of them where he does pretty good on back checks.
There are a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the ones they get scored on?
I think majority of his back checks are good.
Right.
But
if you're taking up that much cap space, do you need the majority of your back checks to be good, or every single one?
How much is he making?
I think it's like 13 million cap hit.
Yeah, he should probably have 100%.
Yeah.
On his back check.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because realistically, they could probably pay, 4 NHL players that amount of money that back check well 100% of the time?
Yeah. You could.
Yeah. Yeah. So you better.
I would say you better. Okay, but I'm
I
getting
can
off
see the
topic.
steam coming out of your ears right now.
I'm getting off topic. But what has bothered me about the finals, you know what? This is probably going to be the only thing we talk about today because we got a lot going on.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Vita Era Hydration. Vita Era addresses 2 critical issues for a healthy lifestyle. First, throughout your day, you lose essential vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes. Whether you're taking a walk, working out, or engaging in any energy-intensive activity, Vita Era replenishes these nutrients without the processed sugars and artificial additives like sucralose or aspartame found in many hydration products. Instead, Vita Era uses stevia, one of the healthiest natural sweeteners, to provide a refreshing taste. Second, with 60 to 70% of our bodies made up of water and 75% of people chronically dehydrated, it's showing that we're not drinking enough water. As an additive to water, Vita Era encourages you to increase your water intake. Vita Era is a 3-in-1 solution. It provides your everyday essential vitamins and minerals, green tea for enhanced performance and recovery, and electrolytes to maximize hydration efficiency. Each serving includes 500 milligrams of potassium, equivalent to the potassium content of a banana. Stay hydrated. Drink Vita Era. Yeah, that's okay. Whatever.
One thing that's bothered me about the finals is every time it's Messier and PK Subban, all they do is pump the Oilers' tires.
Yeah, you're on your own with this one. Not because I believe you and I can see it. I just haven't caught it.
The Oilers will be down off a brutal turnover that ended up in their net, and then Messier and PK are like, the Oilers are looking great. They're playing great. It's like, man, you're losing. And they go on to lose the game.
It surprises me that Messier's that biased towards the Oilers.
And then PK had a freezing cold take. It was like game 1. Mm-hmm. The Oilers are going to come out this third period and score 4 goals. It was either game 1 or game 2. Either way, they didn't score 4. They didn't score 4 goals all the first 2 games combined.
Maybe PK listens to our podcast and he's just agreeing with everything that I was saying.
Was that game 2? You said the Oilers. Well, yeah, but you didn't say that after the second period. You said the game the Oilers would come out hard.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, rewind. I take that back. I don't know. I've never been one to. I was just about to say it. I don't even know if I should say it, but oftentimes, let me just put it this way, okay? If the TNT panel with Paul Bissonnette, that other guy, Wayne Gretzky, and the other guy,
AC,
okay,
are
on. See, I don't even know their names.
Sometimes
which
Hank.
is ridiculous. And Hank.
Yeah.
Okay? Those guys are on. I turn the volume up louder than when the game is on.
I think Biz. I feel like a lot of people are Oilers people, man. And I can't figure it out.
When the ESPN panel is on,
Uh-huh.
I go get a refreshment.
Okay. So you can't listen to the ESPN between periods.
They're just not entertaining.
I feel like Steve Levy's pretty good. They'll be like, the Oilers are playing great, and Steve Levy's like, yeah, but they're down 1-0.
Is he the guy to the
He's
left?
been a long time ESPN guy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that.
I think he does a good job.
Yeah. It's just boring to me. Like, I don't think they have that. They don't have the same what's the word I'm looking for? I can't say the word.
Charisma.
Charisma. Okay, that's better. How do you say that other word? Camaraderie?
Camaraderie?
Say it again?
Camaraderie?
Yeah. Camaraderie. I struggle with that word.
Right.
That's the one I was going to say, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. Anyways, it's just more entertaining for me to watch the TNT broadcast, and they have so many different viewpoints because you mix in an idiot like Paul Bissonnette, and when I say idiot, I mean just like a loose cannon. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's very smart. And then you get someone like Wayne Gretzky, totally different personality, obviously a genius of the game.
Much better hockey player.
And then you have one of the best goalies of all time.
Yeah.
And AC.
And
like,
AC.
It's just like how and they're the guy. There's a name for the guy that's like mediates the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I like him too, the TNT guy.
Yeah, he's great. You know, he can kind of bounce things off. Whereas when I watch the ESPN broadcast, it's just like Messier and PK just, I don't know. It's just not entertaining. Maybe they need like two more guys.
What I don't like is they just love talking about the Oilers and how good the Oilers are playing, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm gonna be listening for it tonight. I'm gonna turn it up tonight so I can.
The ship is sinking, and Mess and PK are talking about how good the Oilers look.
Right, that's so brutal.
I don't like that.
No, I don't think Gretzky would do that. I think Gretzky would say exactly what he's seeing.
I think he'd be the Oilers' harshest critic.
I think so too. And it's not because he loves the Oilers organization less than Messier.
Right.
I don't know what Mess is doing.
I know he loves the Oilers. It's more understandable for him.
But it's not. If I'm watching a game, and this is for a lot of fans, if I sit in my brother-in-law's living room watching the Jacksonville Jaguars with my father-in-law and my wife.
Okay.
These people have been Jacksonville Jaguars fans their entire lives.
Right.
They are the harshest critics. Like, Trevor Lawrence can't do one thing right.
Yeah.
Diehard fans. Love the organization.
Yeah.
Harshest critics. So I just don't understand why Messier's acting like the Oilers are.
Yeah, and I feel like there's two fandoms where one you're a really harsh critic and one just the team could do nothing wrong.
Just say it as it is. If they're doing great, feel free to say so. If they're playing like crap, be honest about it.
Like for me with my Packers fandom, I'm very weary of everything that we do.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. You've never had a take about the Packers where I'm like, what are you talking about? Relax.
Yeah.
Even though at times maybe you should, but you're just a passionate fan.
No, I was excited when we beat the Cowboys.
Yes, you were.
What?
But you also think the Cowboys suck.
I think we were talking about the Packers might beat the Cowboys. Remember? I said hammer the Packers.
Did I agree with that? I don't think I agreed with that.
No.
I'm an undercover Cowboys fan.
I said hammer the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Because you think Dak Prescott's a joke.
Yes, he threw a pick six to Savage.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
What are we talking about?
And there goes all our listeners that are Cowboys fans.
I don't care.
Bye.
If you can't admit the Cowboys are not good.
I think they do. I think Cowboys fans are harsh critics too.
I do too. I think they're harsh critics too because it's year after year, man.
Yeah. Sounds familiar. NHL team.
Let's just make Dak throw the football.
Yeah.
And we'll win.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Gone are the days where you just give it to Zeke and he just powers through for 8 yards.
Yeah, okay. They tried to do that this year with Tony Pollard.
I love TP, but
I don't. Why?
It's not the same.
Why do you like?
I think he's good.
I don't think
he's a different back. But yeah, you're right. The Leafs fans are the same way. We're gonna win it this year. Yeah, you guys look good regular season.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You guys have issues.
That's why we play, right?
Yeah.
Regular season.
Wait till the playoffs. Your issues are going to be exposed. Anyways.
Yeah.
I don't remember where we
got off on a big time tangent.
I think you should maybe just swing this into our second note there.
I
want to hear
so.
This.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing to comment on, and this is a good thing as a goalie. Is important to notice about this final. So what we talked about in series, things aren't always going to go your way. In a series, like, you could be on top of the world. everyone's, all the media's, Twitter's, Bob's on top of the world. And then he gets pulled last game. He gave up 4 goals on like 12 shots. And now Twitter's like, ripping Bob.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but that's insane that they're doing
well,
that.
Apparently it's Canadian Twitter. I've had a lot of my friends text me about Bob.
Stop it, Canadian Twitter.
I don't subscribe to Canadian Twitter, so I don't know. But okay. So, in the goals they scored, like Bob got a piece of the third one. It was a breakaway, but it just hit his pad and bounced in. First one hit off Sasha's chest, went in. Mm-hmm. Second one, I can't remember. Oh, Bob was transitioning into his RVH, and it was past the middle, high, far side tip. Great finish.
Say that again. He was transitioning into his reverse. And
yep.
What?
They passed it to the middle as he was transitioning. High, far side, like chip finish off a pass.
Yeah.
That's where I texted you, and I was like, Bob got caught in transition. His RVH makes me feel better about myself. Yep. And you're like, I think that would have gone in anyways. And you're probably right.
Yeah, I think it would have.
That was a high, far side chip finish off a pass from the wall is so hard to do.
Yeah.
Under pressure, which
Sick
I think
play.
Henrique was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyways, you have all that going on, right? Bob gets pulled in the second. What was interesting to me, and I think we should talk about this a little bit and what we can learn from it, is at one point during the second, the camera switched to Bob, and he was laughing with the equipment guy.
Mm-hmm.
Second period, they're down like 5-1 at this point. Bob's laughing with the equipment guy. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I've been on teams where when you lose, as far as the coach is concerned, and I think that this is the right way to operate, it's nobody says anything. Like, you lost, you don't say anything. You do your thing and you go home. It is not a fun time.
No, shouldn't be. You lost.
Shouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to operate.
You want to have fun, win the damn game.
Right. And I've had coaches, guys are on the bus, there's one little chuckle, and the coach stands up, and he is just shredding.
Yeah, good.
And you know what? That particular coach was a former Stanley Cup champion.
Who was he?
Jim McKenzie. He won with the Devils in 2003. My first junior coach, really good coach.
So fair to say that guy knows how to run a hockey team.
I think he knows. He's been around guys that know what it takes to win.
Yes.
So, anyways, I don't want to single him out because that's not the only coach that's done it and the only coach that's operated that way. I don't think that he knows how to win and other guys don't. I'm just saying that's just one memory I have.
Yeah, no, I think it's more common for a coach to have that type of mentality than not.
I think you should.
At a high level.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. Right. Youth hockey, it doesn't matter. Your job is to develop.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can argue that that's part of development too.
I think developing a competitor's mindset definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
But the disparity in teams is so wide in youth hockey.
Yeah, it's tough.
And as a coach, if the player just works hard, they're playing. They should be playing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, youth hockey's different.
Yeah. Okay, so it's hard. We're talking about more as you get into juniors. Now it's more of your job to win.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, and I think that's the right way to do it. Now, that's why Bob joking with the equipment manager on the bench is so interesting to me, I think.
Yeah.
Because in this case, I actually like seeing that.
Me too. I think what it tells me, And this is your note, so I'm going to let you go off on it. But what it tells me is that Bob is not allowing himself to get too high or too low.
100%.
Which sounds cliche.
It's going to bode really well.
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but that is so important during a playoff run, especially, obviously, everything's magnified in the Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah.
If I'm a Florida Panthers fan and I saw that, I would be fired up. Bob
100%.
is not rattled.
Once you're in playoffs, like the whole regular season is developing your game and your team to get better and better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get into playoffs, you're ready to roll. From then, it's not negative. It's all encouraging. And that's like when you see clips of Paul Maurice on the bench, the Panthers haven't won every game, but he always seems like he's like positive. Like, let's go, boys. Come on, we got it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a little bit different mentality when you get into playoffs.
It is.
So what's cool is that these series are such quick turnarounds and they're playing at the highest level that you cannot at all allow yourself to dwell on any negativity.
Right.
Because the second you do, you're gonna down spiral. Like then Bob's gonna go, if he's dwelling on negativity, then he's gonna go into the next game worried about that, and he's not gonna play his best game because he's not gonna feel as confident. He's not gonna be like, I don't know if I can stop the puck. He's just gonna relax and forget about it.
Yeah, imagine if instead of you seeing Bob joking with the EQ, imagine if you saw him skate off the ice and break his stick in the tunnel and just throw stuff all around. Because I think in the regular season, to further your point, I think in the regular season you'd be like, yeah, I don't blame that guy. He's pissed. He's pissed he just got shelled for 5 and his team's not playing well right now. He's pissed himself.
I think you're more upset with yourself.
But in the playoffs, it's different. If I personally, and I'm sure you'll agree, if I saw Bob freak out, I'd be like, uh-oh, he's rattled. That if he's got to figure a way to dial himself in for Game 5. But right now, I think he never. I don't think he skipped a beat. It just is what it is, and he's just going to move on and keep on keeping on.
And I mean exactly. And now you know that Bob's ready to just move on with it.
Yeah.
And you're just it's a 3-1 series. I've let go what happened the last game, and I'm just ready to go now.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying he wasn't ready to go last game, but things aren't going to bounce your way. And that's one of the hardest things as a goalie is that it's not going to bounce your way all the time. You're going to have streaks where it is bouncing your way. You're going to have streaks where it's not bouncing your way.
Yeah.
Okay? And this was a game where it didn't bounce Bob's way, but you can tell that he's not going to allow that to snowball.
Right. Who do you think made the joke?
You got to think the equipment guy. Looked like the equipment guy.
Okay, now, what a beauty, first of all.
Yeah.
That guy's got some stones, though, right?
100%. But you have to think about, and when I think about this, you have to think about the culture that must be around the Florida Panthers locker room.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, we can make jokes, and Paul Maurice isn't going to leave us in Edmonton. Like, we're not riding under the plane on the way home.
Right, yeah. They're comfortable enough to be able to make, for an EQ to make a joke to the starting goal, to Sergei Bobrovsky after he just got yanked.
Yeah.
That says a lot about their culture, I think. And I don't know if we're explaining it well enough, but
I
don't really know how else to.
And I think but the thing is, I think it could go the other way. It's like, oh, Bob's steaming. He's going to be ready to go next game. You can make a case for that too. Like Michael Jordan, if something happened, he's like fuming.
Did he ever snap in the playoffs?
I don't know. I don't remember. I watched The Last Dance.
That's all I know really about Michael Jordan too. I never saw him I don't remember him in that documentary losing his mind.
He would take it personal.
Yeah.
And be like, I just got lit by these guys, whatever. I just got shut down by, what's his name, the mailman, Karl Malone?
Yep.
I just got shut down by him. It's not happening again.
Yeah, but he wouldn't portray that physically.
No, he's just ready to go.
He would just walk off the court for the most part.
And apparently Dominator was like that regular season. He would get shelled.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be rattled.
Yeah.
Play the next game, get a shutout.
Yeah.
He's just so fired up.
And that's arguably the best goalie to ever play.
Right. But everybody's a little bit different. Okay. I think in this situation, in a series like this, it's always a quick turnaround. It's a hard series.
Mm-hmm.
You know things aren't going to go your way. They've prepared for that, which is great.
Yeah.
Because now they know what to do when something doesn't go their way. Sometimes you see really good teams, really good regular season teams, they don't face much adversity. In playoffs, when something doesn't go your way inevitably, sometimes they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's tough. It's tough to be facing that right now. So it's almost like the Panthers are prepared for a difficult playoff that's not going to go their way.
I mean, it's not surprising, right? Like they were literally in the Stanley Cup playoff a year ago.
Yeah.
They've been here. They've done this already. It's not surprising to think that a team that's been there that plays, in our opinion, a more responsible and better game.
Yeah.
Is in a better position than a team that's never been there that has holes in their systems.
It helps that you've been there too.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, I mean, all this being said, man, I think tonight I'm fully expecting, and even the Oilers might come out. They might come out buzzing because,
they better.
Like we said, well, I mean, like they might even dominate the first 10 minutes of this game. But
well, according to Mess and PK, they will no matter what happens.
Right, but that's I'm not worried about that because I'm fully expecting Bob to weather any storm that comes if he needs to
mentally. And
I think in the long haul of the 60-minute game, the Panthers are they're going to come out. They're going to overall they're just going to end up doing what it takes to win this game.
They'll settle in. And hopefully they're more settled in. And you know what? They might not. last game, they might have thought that they want to try to put it away in the first.
Yeah.
Now it might be more of a 60-minute process, which is better. Because you're not going to have the bad steps. You're not going to have the taking chances. I mean, strategically, I think Edmonton is a team that will give you the game if you let them.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked about that. They're going to give you opportunities.
They will make mistakes.
Yeah.
They will be irresponsible.
Right.
They will go straight-legged on the back check.
Especially if the Panthers are playing what they do best, and that's I don't want to necessarily say they're a chip and chase team, but I think they do that.
They can be if they need to.
And if
they're in your face.
Right.
I mean, their power play was brutal against the Oilers. Couldn't get set up. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden they just dump it in, go get it, and they score.
Right, because they're playing against a team that I don't think is necessarily good at retrieving pucks, and they're arguably the best team in the league at
offensive retrievals.
Yeah.
If you watch the Oilers, their defensemen will turn over a lot on retrievals.
Yeah.
They will. The Oilers. I mean, again, you pressure them, they'll give it to you, but you don't have to do anything crazy against them.
No, you really don't.
But the Panthers are really good at pressuring. Like that's a skill.
Right.
Pressuring a guy the right way, forechecking the right way. That's a skill.
Which I think is it's going to help them so much against a team like the Oilers.
I think so too.
I think the Oilers, that's when they're going to cough up pucks, and then you're going to get your opportunities. And that's when F1 is hard on the forecheck and the Oilers are complacent on their retrieval, then they turn the puck over. That's when the grade A opportunities come for the Panthers, and you have Sam Reinhart sitting in the slot. Right.
And not even that the Oilers might be complacent, but like they've just had pressure on them all the time, which the Panthers are good at. You always have pressure on you. Them.
Every time a D-man goes back for a retrieval, he knows he's going to get smoked.
Right.
Sam Bennett's coming down the tracks.
So on the 8th time in the period,
it's exhausting. It's hard
exhausting.
To play against.
You know you're going to be under pressure.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I need to get rid of this puck.
Yeah. It's very hard to play against a team. I mean, we're goalies. So we're not the ones getting hit, but we're involved because we've played on teams or against teams, I should say, that are relentless on the forecheck on their retrievals, and eventually it just wears down the boys, man.
It does. I mean, and our job during that is to try to play the puck as much as we can so that they don't get hit as much.
But the Panthers, a good team, they're going to have smart dumps, and the goalie's not going to have a chance.
They dump it away from the goalie.
Yeah, Skinner's not going to have a chance to play that puck.
No, that's what they do, especially with the trapezoid.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's I'm gonna paint a picture, okay? Even though I kind of already did. Oilers come out flying. They dominate the first 10.
Okay.
Bob weathers the storm.
Yeah.
Panthers get one in the first. They get one in the second, and they lock it down. They win 2-1 in the third, or they win 2-1.
Could see
Oilers
that.
get one in the third.
Could see that. Yeah.
Panthers under.
You got Panthers in the under.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
And I think related to us talking about positivity in playoffs, I just want to mention a quick little, I guess, story. I mean, in juniors, I happened to be on a team that won the league that I played with in juniors. We won it.
Those were
Didn't start the
snaps.
majority of the games.
Yeah.
Gonna throw that out there.
That's all right.
But I got put in. We actually got blown out the game before the clinching game.
Ooh, that sounds
We lost like 7-3.
potentially familiar.
Brandon Montour was on that team.
On the opposing team.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a tidbit, because now hopefully he's about to win.
Yeah.
Cup. So, anyways, we got blown out the game before.
Did you go in for that game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got scored on too. Don't worry.
So you were like the Stolars. You were Stoli.
I was Stoli,
Sick.
100%. So I went in. Our good buddy Jason Pulowski was the other goalie.
Pillows. Shout out to
Played.
Pillows.
Played sick all playoffs, but
Yeah.
we were a gross team. So, but we got blown out. Game before the clinching game, it would have been. It's like a game. It would have been like game 6 of this series because it was a 5-game series. We got blown out in game 4 at home.
Okay.
At home, we got stomped.
That sucks.
Okay, but then we went on the road next game and we ended up winning. But one thing I will say is that our coach, longtime OHL coach, his name is Jeff Brown, really good coach. He lost in the finals when he was on the Canucks. And I don't remember what year that was.
2011.
No.
Oh, you're
that.
talking 90s.
Like the 90s. Yeah.
94. No, that's when the
Rangers won it, but they could have beat the Canucks.
I don't remember which year, but it was in 90s.
That sounds about right. Okay, so anyways, he was on the team that lost in the finals.
Okay.
Stanley Cup Finals. So for us, he didn't want us to lose in the finals too. But that entire season, he was incredibly hard on our team. Like we would lose it, we would win a game 3-0. He'd come in the locker room and destroy us because we didn't play the right way.
Yeah.
And it was all about we're getting as good as we possibly can now. We're developing our team so that when we get into playoffs, we're just ready.
Yeah.
Now, when we got into playoffs, way different. Not like any negativity at all.
Right.
Just positive. We lose this game, we go to the next one, you know?
Yep.
And I remember, he would talk about we've worked hard all year. Now we have to give ourselves the gift of doing leaving it all out there basically.
Right.
To try to win.
Sounds like a common theme for success here.
And we did. So I think that's what I'm saying is that from my own personal experience, that sort of mentality of, we're getting in the playoffs, we're just where it's like positivity because things are going to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be what can work.
Yep.
And my point is that seems to be what the Panthers are doing based on what I've seen.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I think the telling tale there is that regular season success doesn't always mean that it's going to happen in the playoffs. And it's more, from this point of view, it's more important to develop as a team throughout the regular season.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean wins, than just winning games.
It means playing the right way.
Right. Building your team to be prepared and ready for the playoffs. If the goal, which last time I checked, is to win a championship, in pretty much every level of sports.
Some guys' contracts would beg to differ by taking up too much cap space.
Right. And for the record, even for the selfish people out there, and this is more for the up-and-coming players, midget level or junior level college. I had a coach in junior named Mitch Love. He's now the head coach for the Calgary.
Is it like Hitman?
No, No, he's in the American
Stampede?
League. He's in the American League. Stampede is no.
Isn't that a hockey club? Or is that a music
Oh yeah,
festival?
that is. Yeah, the Calgary Stampede. That's the football team.
Oh. And
What's the
music- and
American
music
League
festival?
What's the American League Calgary team called?
Isn't it like the
Son of a-
Stockton Heat?
It was, and now then they moved the team to Calgary.
They're not the Calgary Heat anymore?
I don't think so. That doesn't sound right. Okay, well, you're looking this up. He's a coach in the American League now. But anyways,
Calgary Wranglers. I like
Yeah,
that.
there we
That's
go.
such a good name.
shout out to Dustin Wolf. Kid's a stud.
Where's One Piece?
And he's had Mitch Love, he's had a lot of success with the Wranglers. He was actually in the running for the head coaching job, I believe, in Calgary
Sweet.
for the Flames. Or maybe it was a different team. I don't know. Anyways, he always told us as selfish young junior players, if you can't get motivated to win in the playoffs, be motivated, or what can motivate you is understanding that the further you go in playoffs, the more the spotlight is on you in regards to scouts.
Well, yeah, everybody
There's-
gets jobs from a winning team.
Right. Also, though, this is just simple logic. The further you go
Yeah.
in playoffs, the less teams that are there. There's
Right.
still the same amount of scouts.
Right. Yeah.
Therefore, the scouts have less games to go to. They're coming to your game.
And they're watching you online if they have to.
Success, whether it's team or personal success, comes from having success and winning in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about regular season wins.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I mean, maybe I guess you can argue an organization might care. Fans
That's not the goal.
enjoy seeing wins, stuff
Okay,
like
yes.
that. And of course,
the journey of winning games is fun
But
during the season.
right, but it's not as important as developing the team to be prepared for playoffs.
Playing the right way.
Yeah.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah. Can't stress that enough. And I think we've talked about that for
Well, that's why you see in the NHL President's Trophy teams never win it. I mean,
Right.
the Rangers.
Yeah, but I feel like that's too broad of a brush because you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think you can still have a President's Trophy. It's President's Trophy. That's the regular season champion in
Yep.
NHL. You could still win that trophy and have success in the playoffs.
100%.
It just seems like, to further your point, that more often than not, it just doesn't happen.
It's like the different seed teams that have faced a lot of adversity through the season
Yeah,
can handle it well.
right,
Like the St. Louis Blues going from last place in the league to Cup champions in the same year.
right. They were, last place in January.
Yeah. When
Talk
things
about
don't go well in
adversity.
the playoffs, you have adversity.
Right. Okay, my brain's starting to turn to mush.
All right, good. Yeah. So this is a good time. This is a good time to end it. But just the lessons you can learn from a team standpoint. And it is the case in hockey that when teams win championships, people get jobs other places. Like
Mhm.
they get promotions other places.
Yeah. So personal success comes from winning
Team success.
winning
Yeah,
championships.
100%.
Getting as close to that as you can, rather than the most wins you can get in a regular season.
But that doesn't mean you don't try to win games in the regular season. If you can win as many games as you can in the regular season, you should.
Well, theoretically, as you're building your team up, you should be winning games because you're playing the right way.
Right.
It just doesn't always work out that way.
Right. Regular season is a little bit different. Like teams don't try as hard defensively. There's so many games. Like people take moments off. People take games off,
Yeah.
which shouldn't happen, but it seems to be human nature,
Mm-hmm.
even in the NHL.
Yeah.
That's why Matthews can have 70 goals and then be held to 1 goal in a playoff series.
Yeah. Different beast, man.
Yeah. Way different game.
Yeah.
That's what makes hockey fun, though.
All right.
All right, let's
else?
end this thing. No? I think I got most of my rants out for the day.
Good. That's all I got.
That's all I got, too.
Appreciate everyone for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. As always, if you have questions you want us to answer in the future, leave them down in the comments, and we'll do our best to get to those.
Yeah, please do. We need all the comments and questions we can get.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to answer them for you.
Hopefully next week we could talk about salary cap. a little bit. We'll see. Time will tell.
I have a feeling as soon as tomorrow we have the ability to.
We may or may not.
Yeah.
We'll
Maybe we'll
see.
do another podcast tomorrow. Actually,
We'll
no,
see.
we won't.
We'll see. We got a lot going on. All right.
right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.